past Wednesday when I got back from my run, I went to the refrigerator to get the protein pancakes that Jackie had made me, and I couldn't find them. So I called out, I can't find the pancakes. And she called back, they're in the bottom right drawer. I already checked the bottom right drawer, okay? But okay, I'll do it again. And so I opened up the bottom right drawer, and there they were. Do you ever miss the obvious? I'm going to show you a short video clip, and I want you to follow the instructions very, very carefully.
Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball. The correct answer is 16 passes.
Did you get it? Did you get 16? Did you see the gorilla? Did you see one of the players with the black shirt leave? Did you see the curtain change colors? See, sometimes we miss the obvious.
Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold.
Sometimes we miss the obvious. My first year in college, I was reading through the Old Testament. I got to that point in time where the children of Israel were receiving manna and quail from God on a daily basis, except on Friday, because then they got a double measure, so they wouldn't have to go out and collect it on the Sabbath day. And the children of Israel were moaning and complaining because of the food that God was giving them. And I thought, that is so ridiculous. They don't
merciful, loving.
There are a whole lot, right? And they're all awesome. But so often, we put God's generosity way in the back burner, even though He's pouring out blessing upon blessing on us every day. When it comes to Thanksgiving or Christmas, then we're pretty mindful of God's blessings, His generosity in our lives. But for a lot of us, for a lot of the other days throughout the year, we kind of miss that. It's kind of like the gorilla, or the black-shirted player leaving the screen, or the curtain changing. We just miss it. God gives us His blessings for us to enjoy. This past Tuesday evening, I was over at a friend's house sitting out on his deck, and he got a work phone call, so he had to leave. And I was just sitting out on the deck for a few minutes by myself, and in that peace and in that quiet, in the stillness of that time, I noticed the deep green, lush grass, the brilliant purple colors, the yellow hay that had been cut across the highway, the orange towel that was draped over the chair, the bright blue sky with the white, fluffy cloud. It had always been there for me to enjoy, but I had let it slip by. Hadn't really noticed it at all. God is super generous. Do you realize that if you and I read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, in every single book, we'll find a notation and example of God's generosity? Every single one. Saturday afternoon, and James wanted to do something for his 5-year-old son, Jimmy, whatever Jimmy wanted to do. And so James went to his son and said, Jimmy, what would you like to do? And Jimmy immediately thought of this. I want to go to McDonald's. I want fries. So James said, well, let's go. And they hopped into the family SUV. And as Jimmy's in the back seat, all seatbelted in, his mind is just going to those fries. You know, he's almost salivating. He can almost smell those fries. And they get to the neighborhood McDonald's in no time at all. And when they get out of the SUV, sure enough, there in the parking lot, they can smell those fries. And Jimmy's super excited. Jimmy and his father James walk in, and they're at the counter. It's their turn to order. And James says to the clerk, the attendant there, my son wants large fries and a soda. And Jimmy's like, whoa. You know, he's expecting the small fries. He's going to get large fries. And it only took a minute or so, and the order came out, large fries and a soda. And they went over and sat at one of the booths, and Jimmy just couldn't wait to eat, so the prayer was really quick. God bless his food. Amen. And he began to eat those fries, and he had a big smile on his face. He enjoyed them so very much. And after a couple of minutes, James, watching his son with